Wake up, Colts Nation. We are staring at a pivotal moment that could redefine the franchise's trajectory. This isn't just about roster moves, it is about the soul of this team. We have coaching shakeups that demand answers, massive trade rumors involving a pass-rushing nightmare, and a quarterback situation that has everyone scratching their heads. The front office is making moves in the shadows, and if you aren't paying attention, you are going to get left behind. Buckle up, because things are getting volatile in Indy.
Let's start with the hard facts coming out of the facility. Sources confirm, and franchise legend Reggie Wayne has personally verified, that offensive assistant Brian Bratton is officially packing his bags. Yesterday, February 11th, it was finalized that Bratton has accepted a position in the collegiate ranks to become the wide receivers coach at Stanford University. Bratton has been a key piece in that room, working directly under Wayne to develop our young pass catchers for the last few seasons. That is the news, plain and simple. But let me tell you why this matters and why you need to be concerned. You cannot simply lose developmental minds and expect zero consequences on the field. We have young talent that needs constant guidance, and Bratton was the glue guy assisting Reggie Wayne in that process. Stanford is getting a steal, absolutely, but the Colts are losing a vital organ in their offensive anatomy. When you look at the progression of our receivers, Bratton's fingerprints are all over that development. Losing him disrupts the chemistry. It forces Reggie Wayne to shoulder an even heavier load during a critical offseason. Is this a disaster? Maybe not on the surface, but it is a crack in the foundation. Continuity is king in the National Football League, and we just let a piece of the kingdom walk out the door to the Pac-12. The timing is critical because we are about to face some serious questions regarding our wide receiver depth. You have guys trying to take the next step, and the man responsible for the details is gone. This isn't just a coaching change, it represents a brain drain that good organizations try to avoid. We need stability for our quarterback, whoever that may be, and that stability starts with the coaching staff. Reggie Wayne is a legend, but even legends need support. This departure puts pressure on the entire offensive structure to adapt immediately. We wish Bratton well, but frankly, this is a loss for Indianapolis. And this loss in the coaching staff leads us directly into a massive rumor involving a new coach we just brought in, which could change our defensive identity entirely.
Listen, the offseason is a war zone of information. If you want the truth, the inside scoop, and the raw analysis that no one else is brave enough to give you, hit that subscribe button right now.
This is where things get spicy, and you need to pay close attention. On Thursday, February 12th, Sports Illustrated dropped a bombshell analysis that connects the dots on a potential blockbuster move. The Colts recently hired Marion Hobby as a defensive coach. Why is that name significant? Because Marion Hobby was the defensive line coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, where he turned Trey Hendrickson into an absolute sack machine. The speculation is now rampant that Hobby's arrival in Indianapolis paves the runway for a Trey Hendrickson trade. The Bengals pass rusher has been one of the most disruptive forces in football, and his relationship with Hobby is well documented. Now let me give you the reality check. If this trade is on the table, you make the call. We are talking about a relentless predator off the edge. The Colts have been desperate for a consistent elite pass rush that terrifies opposing quarterbacks. Hendrickson isn't just good, he is a game wrecker. He knows Hobby's system, he respects Hobby's coaching. This isn't just a rumor, it is a blueprint for dominance. If Chris Ballard sits on his hands and lets this connection go to waste, it is malpractice. You bring in the coach to bring in the talent. That is how the game is played at the highest level. Imagine our defensive front with a guy who has proven he can wreck game plans in the AFC. This could be the aggressive move we have been screaming for. The synergy is there, the need is there, the opportunity is staring us in the face. We have seen what happens when you have a passive pass rush. You get picked apart. Hendrickson changes the math. He changes the geometry of the defense. This report from Sports Illustrated isn't just idle chatter. It is a signal flare. The front office needs to be aggressive. You don't hire Marion Hobby just to coach up rookies. You hire him to lure in the sharks. But while we dream of sacks and defensive dominance, we have a nightmare brewing on the offensive side regarding who is throwing the ball and who might be leaving the receiving corps.
If you thought the coaching changes were stressful, look at the roster chaos reported today, February 12th. Reports indicate the Colts are planning to open contract talks with quarterback Daniel Jones, who has been sitting on the injured list. Yes, you heard me correctly, Daniel Jones. Simultaneously, and perhaps more alarmingly, we are hearing whispers that Alec Pierce, who is approaching free agency, is being circled by vultures, other teams looking to snatch him away from Indianapolis. Let's break this down with the intensity it deserves. Are you kidding me? Daniel Jones? We are talking about stabilizing the most important position in sports, and we are looking at a reclamation project? I understand due diligence, but this fan base demands excellence, not mediocrity. We have been on a quarterback carousel for years, and now we are discussing a guy with a history of injuries and inconsistency? And on top of that, you might lose Alec Pierce? Pierce is a field stretcher. He takes the top off the defense. You lose Brian Bratton, the assistant coach, and now you might lose the deep threat he helped coach? This is a dangerous game of Jenga. If you let Pierce walk while flirting with uncertain quarterback play, you are setting this offense back 3 years. The market for Pierce is heating up because the league knows he has value. The Colts need to wake up. You cannot bleed talent at receiver while gambling at quarterback. It is a recipe for disaster. The connection between a quarterback and his deep threat is sacred. If you bring in Jones, who needs help, and you subtract Pierce, who provides the help, what are we doing? This is a strategic failure in the making if the front office doesn't get a grip. The combination of these reports, Jones coming in, Pierce potentially going out, signals a turbulent transition that could alienate the fan base. We need answers, and we need them fast. The clock is ticking, and the decisions made on these two players will define the next era of Colts football.
We are at a crossroads, Colts Nation. The decisions made in the next few weeks regarding Hendrickson, Jones, and Pierce will determine if we are contenders or pretenders. The margin for error is 0. I want to hear from you right now. Do you trade for Hendrickson? Do you trust Daniel Jones? Drop your comments below and let your voice be heard. We are in this fight together. Stay sharp, stay passionate, and I will see you next time.